Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11 Grinds. Going to take a look at pitching for today, the 14th of April. It is Monday. We do have an 8-game main slate ahead of us. We do have some interesting wind blowing out in places. We do not have the same amount of stud pitchers as we did over the weekend. We do have some names though, so it becomes interesting. But we also see some guys at higher prices. Uh, I think DraftKings is starting to tighten their pitching prices a little bit, making it a little more challenging as we go forward, which is always a good thing, to be honest. But as a reminder, this is a first look at the pitching options on the slate. I go more in depth for the members at DFS Army through my content on the site and in our Discord. I will be looking at DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you are on FanDuel, I would cut my pool into a half, as you do not have to be as creative. Pricing isn't as tight. It allows you to get your stacks with a top tier-ish pitcher for the most part. I don't play over there very often any longer, but I would say that it's very rare that you need to get a pitcher under 9K, probably even under 93, 9400, but sometimes they do make mistakes with their pricing. So let's just jump into this slate of games, 8 of them. Let's take a look at our weather station real quick. Cold in Minnesota. Wind's blowing out though, pretty strongly, but it's cold. Ball doesn't fly well when it's cold. Swinging a wood bat when it's cold, a little difficult. But also, we've noticed this year, pitchers and grip when it's cold has caused more issues this year than previous years. What does that mean for us today? Means we might have to look at both pitchers. Generally in games when wind's blowing out that strongly, we don't really want to look at pitchers. But when you're in the low 40s, heavy air, maybe we just need to use the pitching and not overthink it. Another great pitching matchup when blowing out to right in St. Louis. It's in the 60s. That one's going to be interesting to decide on. Both pitchers have some pretty solid props. Game total just sits at 7.5, so that's intriguing as well. But one side doesn't strike out all that much. That's the St. Louis side. So it is something that we're going to need to consider. Tampa Bay, where there's been a lot of offense, winds blowing out to center. Lightly enough, but it is a minor league ballpark. Winds tend to affect the baseball at minor league parks much more than at major league parks, just due to the sheer size of the stadium. But Boston is striking out a lot. So what are we going to do there? It is the warmest game of the day. Not that, low to mid 70s is all that super warm in Florida, but it is our warmest environment. And obviously a couple West Coast games where the ball generally doesn't fly as well in late night matchups. So there I have it. There's no real weather to worry about from a PPD standpoint, etc. So we can just look at matchups themselves at this point. At the top, we get Tarik Skubal, who obviously is going to be the number one option on the slate. Hasn't thrown like a Cy Young winner just yet. Coming off of a strong performance against a difficult Yankees offense. Hasn't shown the huge strikeout upside just yet. It's only maxed out at 93 pitches through 3 starts. Kind of feels like they got the training wheels on a little bit. The projected Brewers lineup last year and then to begin this year, 22% K rate against left-handed pitching. A little over a 22% K rate to begin this season so far. Skubal, Uh, K prop of 6.5 with juice on the over. He has the number one K prop on the slate. He is minus 120 to earn the W. He and May are the two pitchers that are minus, and then it jumps to plus 140 for Framber Valdez. Skubal's projected earned runs prop at 1.5 with juice on the under. Easily the best one on the slate. The Tigers are a minus 155 favorite. Obviously, we know the Brewers can be a little frustrating to take pitching against, but I'm just not that worried about them, especially from a power standpoint in this particular matchup. They don't draw a ton of walks against left-handed pitching either, so that obviously adds to it. No real reason to overthink Skubal as a top-tier pitcher. Dylan Cease, the Padres are minus 155 favorites, similar to Skubal. Cease does have the second best K prop on the day at 6.5 as a pick 'em. He is plus 175 to get the W. Uh, Obviously, the Cubs' offense has been pesky, has been annoying, has put up some runs, stolen bases, etc. Uh, Cease is coming off an atrocious performance. It was so bad that it forced him to shave his entire face and go back to clean shaven. Baseball players are very superstitious, and that one falls in that. I think there's going to be some people that are off of Dylan Cease, despite obviously pitching in San Diego, which is a strong pitcher's park. I think I want to be heavy on him, but also at the same time, I can understand why somebody would want to go with the full fade. Let's show you quick. We do have some projected ownership numbers early. 24% is up there for this particular slate. So I think it's really go one way. Like you go 0% or you go 35, 40%, and just play it that way. But obviously, a lot to be learned throughout the day yet, digging into the matchup a little bit more as the day goes on before making a final decision. We never want to make our final decisions at 11 a.m. Central Time when the games are 7 hours in the future. Dustin May, a guy with elite arm talent and stuff, but for whatever reason, strikeouts are always questionable. I don't understand it. Never will understand it. He has a K prop of 5.5, basically a pick 'em, which puts his K prop around the sixth or seventh best on the slate. So it's right in the middle, nothing special. Huge ground ball rate, mid 80s in pitches, maybe he gets to 90. Dodgers probably going to take it somewhat easy on him. He is a minus 345 favorite against Colorado, as we've been taking pitchers against Colorado the entire season at this point. We've even used a couple of them in Coors against this Colorado offense. He's minus 105, like I mentioned, to earn the W. His earned run prop is at 1.5, basically a pick 'em. So he is number 2 in that category as well. Just so much pointing towards Dustin May that I do think we need to roll with him. Third highest own right now in our projections, or fourth highest, sorry. So that is kind of a good spot. But again, his K numbers just are questionable, which is annoying. We're going to look at a couple of matchups now. Joe Ryan, Clay Holmes in that game in Minnesota, where we mentioned the wind blowing out, but it's going to be super cold. Both of them are missing their win prop. Clay Holmes doesn't have a K prop just yet, but the Twins are minus 120 favorites. Game total of just 8 with juice on the under. Joe Ryan's K prop is 5.5 with juice on the over. I think, like I mentioned, both guys are going to be in play. Joe Ryan's coming off of a strong performance. K's haven't been there yet this year, but he's also faced 3 teams that generally haven't had strong K rates the last couple of years, especially Kansas City. St. Louis isn't striking out much at all this season. I'm not familiar with the jump for Houston. Obviously, a lot has changed with their lineup. I'm not sure how their K rate is this year compared to last year, but he did struggle in that game. A couple home runs, so contact was up in that one. The big issue here is pitch count for Joe Ryan. He's going to have to be in play on this slate with that weather, but I obviously think that his upside is kind of limited or capped compared to the other guys above him uh, from a price point standpoint. Clay Holmes, coming off a 10K performance, back-to-back starts against Miami, where he saw an increase in Ks. He did give up more runs, more a couple mistakes in that this last matchup because he allowed the same amount of base runners, went deeper in the game, but just happened to give up a few runs. His Twins offense just isn't scoring much, so he's got to be in play. I'm curious to see what his K prop's going to be because surprisingly, the Twins offense hasn't really been striking out all that much against right-handed pitching. Just about the projected lineup about 16%, which seems pretty low. But because of that, he's just going to be in play for us. Next matchup that I'm curious about is the Framber Valdez versus Sonny Gray. Framber has been strong in 2 out of his 3 starts to begin the season. Struggled against a San Francisco squad that I just don't think overall is as strong, but we do know that St. Louis is not striking out a whole lot, which is a worry because we do need some strikeouts. But this game has a total of 7.5 with juice on the under. It is tied for the lowest total on the slate. Valdez plus 140 to earn the win. Sonny Gray is plus 220 in that matchup as well, despite Sonny Gray being a slight favorite at minus 112. Both have K props of 5.5 with juice on the over. I was a little shocked to see that from Framber. Sonny Gray, I think it's fine. If I remember correctly, last year's numbers, he was super strong at home, rough on the road. It's been different to start the season, but that can change. Obviously, I think overall the Houston lineup just doesn't scare me as much. I mean, the St. Louis lineup shouldn't really scare you, but they're just putting the ball in play so much that it might be tougher to get to Valdez. I think we have to play them both on this particular slate. But, Valdez is one of those guys that I think I could see going with a fade and just, think that he allows a few too many base runners, because when he's off, he's going to walk some guys, allow some hits, etc. It's just a matter of avoiding him racking up some strikeouts, which I think we can in this matchup. Uh, Not really sure St. Louis against left. I know overall St. Louis just hasn't been striking out. It looks like they're about 20%, or their projected lineups around 20% K rate against left-handed pitching this season. A couple other names here that I have interest in. Shane Baz. Obviously, we mentioned the weather in Tampa Bay, strong hitting environment, but he has made 2 home starts and he's been strong in both of them. Boston striking out a ton. I think there's a lot of upside. There's a ton of volatility right here. Uh, so seeing him, at 19% ish, it seems a little high. So I wouldn't be shocked if that comes down throughout the day. And if it comes down, then I'll be more interested in Baz. I'm still going to use him just because I think he has a ton of upside. His K prop's at 6.5, which is number 3 on the day. He is plus 180 to earn the W. I just think he has the upside to get it done, but obviously super volatile. Easton Lucas has been super impressive so far. He's taken on an Atlanta squad that can strike out and has struggled overall as an offense. He's kind of a sneaky play. Not one that I want to go super heavy and rely on a whole lot, but he is interesting. His props aren't great. 3.5 Ks with juice on the over, plus 265 to earn the W. But he's somebody that I'm certainly interested in. And Seth Lugo, somebody that I might sprinkle in just because we know the Yankees can strike out a lot. So, not a lot to say about that matchup just because we know how dangerous the Yankees are. But Lugo, a solid enough pitcher where he could show up a little bit. But there's the first look at pitching. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at TFS Army. And if you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc. I'll put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.